For this next part in the series, I'll be walking you through how to set up new UVs for preparation of your new materials and textures. For this next part of the video, we're going to go over to the Asset Creation Toolkit, which is a free add-on that extends the functionality of Blender. One of the features I use the most are being able to select multiple objects and edit their UV maps in one click. So as you can see, I'm selecting all the meshes I want to add a new UV map to, and I'm going to set the active UV to the first. And we're just going to rename all of them to make sure we have consistency across. And we're going to rename all of them. So once that's done, we're going to go through and just confirm that they are all renamed correctly. Now, some of the meshes that you may have extra UVs, so we'll just remove those because we're going to add an additional UV for the new UVs for the materials and textures that we're going to be baking in a future video. So we'll just go ahead and create and add the new UV. Perfect. Next step, we'll be going through and selecting all of the meshes and combining them down into fewer meshes. So as I'm looking through here, I'm wanting to only select all of the pants, shoes, shirt, or rather the bodysuit and the hair. So then before we combine all of the meshes, we want to make sure to add custom split normal data so that each piece retains its smoothing. And we're going to combine all of those into one mesh. And then what I'll do is just name each mesh to keep everything organized. And then I'll go through the same process for the toggleable meshes as well. One thing that I realized when going through this process myself was that these eye bits were actually just opaque. So instead of assigning it to the alpha material, I'm just going to assign it to the opaque one and delete the other one. And we'll just use the original texture in Unity. So relating back to the previous video, we're going to change the texture resolution and see how much it affects the appearance. 1K doesn't look too much different. Because remember, that's 1 meter, and her face is definitely not 1 meter wide. Visually, no difference between the two. So if we go to 512, not really, and it reduces the texture size quite substantially. Well, let's go to 32. Yeah, that's a bit too low. 128? 256? Yeah, that actually looks like the original. Wow. That actually looks pretty good, so maybe we'll keep it there and save a bunch of VRAM. Okay, so enough of that and back over to Blender. Alright, so we've put it off for long enough. Now it's time to create our new UV maps. So we're going to collapse all these windows and go and select our new UV and go into edit mode on our meshes for our body. We're going to head over here to the material tab and just take a look at how many materials we have that are contributing to all the draw calls on this avatar. Way too many. We can definitely reduce this. So first, we're going to turn on UV sync mode so we can see all of the UVs for our meshes. So one by one, we're going to select each material and spread all of our UVs out to see what we're working with. During this process and seeing what the UVs look like, we want to start planning ahead for how we're going to map out and give higher priority to, let's say, larger objects opposed to smaller objects like the hair and shoes. And speaking of shoes, here are the shoelaces. And we're going to group it together with the shoes and actually scale all of that down and shove it into this corner. So I'll continue going through juggling the scale of the UVs for the other materials. So for this metal material, it's just one singular color, so we can scale this guy way down and get away with it not having a lot of detail. So once I'm happy with the scaling of all my meshes, I'm going to use this add-on called UV Pack Master to automatically pack the most efficient UV packing. This looks pretty good. I'll do it once or twice more. And I think this is probably the best pack we're going to get. Awesome. All right, and let's move on to the next step. The UDIM tiling for the toggleable objects.